January 2004.
Okay, and there was about, what, 20, 25 people in the room or something like that?
Maybe 30 at the most.
Maybe 30,
Yeah.
okay. Now, you were introduced, or you were asked to come to the meeting even as much as a month before that?
About a month or so, yeah.
Who was that by?
My mom.
Your mom. So your mom bugged you like day after day to come and...
She gave up after about 2 weeks. Yeah, but she did bug me.
She gave up trying to get you?
Yeah.
You're being...
Well, because I forced her on the second or third day to tell me what the product was. So she ended up breaking the first rule, which was say nothing, say nothing, say nothing.
Yeah.
And she told me it was emerald. So from that moment on, I was adamant I was never going to get involved.
You know, nothing to do with that one.
Yeah.
And how old were you then?
23 or 24.
23. So you weren't like serious about life too much yet.
Well, I was pretty serious about my career, but I wasn't serious about doing anything sales that involved sales or MLM or anything.
Or presentation.
Or presentations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one day you were what, laying in bed or something? What happened?
Yeah, I just come home from work. I was just relaxing and lying down. My mom came home and she literally threw almost 10,000 Canadian dollars in cold hard cash at me, and I jumped out of bed and you know, she had my attention.
She had your attention.
Yeah.
So you went to a meeting.
I did. I asked her when the next meeting was. She said it was the very next evening, so we went.
So eventually you got involved.
I did, yeah.
And you did pretty good. What, 6 weeks you worked
Not
it?
bad, yeah. I would say I worked the business as hard as I could with my very limited personal network at that time in my life.
Yeah, but you also had a full-time job.
Yeah. I introduced 6 people to the business. In about 5 weeks, I'd made 1/3 of my annual salary in cold hard cash, and I was pretty pleased with myself.
That was 2004. How much was that?
It was almost 21,000.
21,000 in
Canadian.
2004.
Yeah.
6 weeks. So that's not bad. That was back when Canadian and the U.S. were similar.
They were, I think, at par for a while. Yeah.
So, anyways, skipping years down the road, we had lost touch, but I kept in touch with your mother, and one time I had a chance, I was in England.
Right.
That was 2015.
Mm-hmm.
April, May, June, somewhere around June maybe.
Yeah.
And she told me you were there, and I said, well, get them connected, let's go.
Right.
And so we got to meet up and
Yep.
told you about my plans, and you were kind of intrigued.
Yeah.
But you were busy doing what you were doing, we were doing what we were doing. Sometime in the near future, I spent about 3 months bugging the living daylights out of you to get off your horse, give up London, and come down to the Philippines, which you didn't know too much about.
Correct.
What was your feeling then?
Well, it was a bag of mixed emotions. On one hand, I didn't know anything about the Philippines, as you pointed out.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I was quite convinced in the discussions that we had over the ensuing weeks that you had spent many years, in fact, refining and improving and making this system completely bulletproof.
Right.
And of course, being an IT guy, you know, you opened my eyes to the opportunity of doing something bigger than life. Of course, you wanted to introduce technology in every possible way so that we could take this.
So that kind of excited you a little
big
bit.
time.
It was going to go, the whole system that you knew worked.
Yeah.
Was going. By the way, going back to those days, what kind of room sizes did we get to? Do you remember?
The biggest presentation I did personally was about 500 people, but I know that we were doing presentations close to 1,000 in some places.
Yeah, there was one upwards of 700 something.
Yeah.
And we were also in a lot of cities too, real short order, less than a year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
30 or 40.
Yeah, 40. And then anyways, finally I convinced you to come to the Philippines.
You did.
That was 2006 or
2016.
something, yeah, 2016, yeah. And you watched us get this thing started September 9th, and we're now at the ribbon cutting day of our very first stadium.
I missed the ribbon cutting.
You missed the ribbon cutting,
cutting.
because we recorded it. Okay, so everybody saw it for you on your behalf, so you're a lot of eyes.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah. So, but you got to see what we're doing, and you've seen the automation that we've created, and the fact that we could be in, I think, 11 countries now. And,
Yep.
you know, what is your thought when you compare the old days to this?
There is no comparison. It's a whole other ball game.
Yeah, I won't be wrong.
It's a whole new ball game for sure.
So anything you want to say to some of the new people here?
Well, I mean, thanks for taking the time to come out. I'm sure you've got questions. I guarantee you there are answers to those questions. Make sure you don't miss this opportunity.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Todd.
You're welcome.
Thank you.